right? So our scientific knowledge is all based on induction. Can anyone think of why that is? Why is science only going to be able to give us inductive reasons for things and not deductive proof? Exactly, right? Because inductive reasoning always moves from a particular finite set of observations to a generalization, right? And we can't make generalizations without knowing what's going to happen in the future, right? Exactly. Nothing is certain. Everything is based on laws of nature, right? But we don't know that the laws of nature aren't going to change tomorrow. All we know is that they haven't changed in the past, right? But we've gotten them wrong in the past, right? So exactly, all of this knowledge that we have, right? The idea that the sun will rise tomorrow. I'm sure all of you thought you knew this. In fact, you only have inductively strong reason to believe that the sun will rise tomorrow, right? And so again, this idea of what's going to count as knowledge, what's going to count as rational belief, right? What's going to be your bar? What's going to be your standard for what counts as a good reason, for what counts as knowledge, certainty that something is going to happen? Or do you think that knowledge doesn't require certainty, right? Again, what even is your conception of what it is to know things? So yeah, this notion of even separating deduction from induction is sort of fascinating. If you're interested in this, the philosophical problem is identified first in Buddhism, but of course the Buddhists never get the credit for this. So the Scottish white guy gets the credit, and that is David Hume, and he gets the credit known as the problem of induction. So what's really funny is, you know, Hume has identified this problem, but Hume is also the one who is probably the most famous for being a supportive or an advocate of the scientific method. So he has this very famous line where he says, I'm still going to get out of the way of a running horse, right? Even though I can't know the future, right? It's the best thing that we have to go on. But it's sort of an interesting problem. Okay, so Leah, isn't it also based on things from the past, therefore they can't, exactly, right? All of our knowledge about the way the world is, right? Our metaphysical knowledge, one could say, is inductive, right? Which means that we don't have that certainty about it. So you can see why philosophers are going to encounter a lot of skepticism, right? Because they're realizing this about everything people claim to know. All right, so we have the difference between inductive and deductive arguments, right? And the difference is the relationship between the support or the premises and the conclusion, the thing you're trying to prove. So then we want to figure out not just what type of relationship was being established. Are you trying to prove it? You're just trying to make it more likely. But then we want to see if it's actually, did you achieve the thing you're trying to do? And so for deductive arguments, right, it's either going to be successful or not. If it's successful, it's called valid, which means if the premises are true, the conclusion must also be true. Right? And so this is, again, it's about the structure of the argument, not what the sentences in that argument are saying. So I could come up with a really ridiculous argument and it could still be deductively valid, right?